Hi, welcome to the Golf Academy at Staverton Park. My name's Aaron Shepherd. Today we're going to be discussing some issues in the downswing around creating lag and getting stuck in the downswing. For those of you that are not familiar with the terms lag and getting stuck, basically lag is perceived in golf as the golden sort of recipe, if you like, to create good club head speed. And what lag actually means is that during the downswing you're kind of trying to hold on to the angle between the club shaft and the trail forearm here, as opposed to kind of letting that angle go too soon. And it's kind of like the longer you hold on, the more at the last minute you can kind of release that club head and generate a lot of power. And if you watch a lot of the long drive videos on YouTube, you'll see that in the downswing they do generate a tremendous amount of lag. And I think as golfers that's something that we try and copy, and potentially it actually harms us more than helps us. The reason for that being, if you try and create too much lag in your downswing, what you'll tend to probably find is that you might get the feeling of getting stuck or jammed with your arms close to your body and kind of the club head lagging behind, potentially coming in open, or if at the last minute you kind of try and save with the hands. And whilst it might be powerful, I think potentially it can create a lot of offline shots. And just recently I was watching a video on YouTube with Chris Como, who's just been announced as Tiger Woods' new coach, and Dr. Sasho McKenzie, and they're just discussing basically the physics and the forces that are applied during the downswing in relation to where the club head and the hands line up in the swing, and how that can actually help square up the club face. And in a nutshell, what they were actually saying, which I completely agree with, and I actually find myself in my own swing I do suffer from sometimes, is that if from the top of the backswing we watch my hand path in relation to the explainer we've got behind me here, you actually notice if I follow the hand path of the explainer on the way back, what most players will tend to do is on the downswing is take a direct straight line with the hand path down to the golf ball, pulling the hands now, as you can see, inside the path that the hands went back on, creating what's, like I say, discussed as this idea of creating lag. However, to me now that feels like I'm extremely stuck and I've kind of got nowhere to go from here. So I think some reactionary movements players may get from here, if they're not skilled enough, is that they might need to stand up through the ball in order to hit it, or they need to release the hands in order to hit it. And when you have that going on, you have a club face that's really not square for very long at all. So I actually think the guys were saying that on the downswing it would be far better to feel potentially that if the hands go back on this arc, that on the downswing they also feel like they're going to go back down that same arc. So it actually stays wider on the downswing, allowing the club head to kind of get more out in front of you on the way down, and therefore, because of the direction the hands are travelling, the club face, through the forces that are applied to it, will align up a lot squarer at the bottom of the swing. And you won't have this feeling of kind of getting stuck and trapped in this position in here. So, simple practice for you to go and take to the driving range if you want to have a little go at this and see how it works. If you take an iron, something like a mid-iron, and make some one-handed swings with your lead arm only, have a go, which is tough in itself. So just with kind of your right-handed player with your left hand, and just kind of try and hit some shots one-handed. And what you'll tend to find most people when they do this is they tend to hit them out the heel, they tend to shank them, because what they do is as they swing back, they come down and they pull the hands in here, so they've gone inside the radius of the hoop. Therefore, as they come into the ball, they haven't got enough strength or coordination in this left wrist to actually square it up at the last minute. And that puts a lot of, you're going to have to put a lot of stress through that left wrist, and that's going to be potentially painful for you guys to hit shots one-handed if you take a direct route to the golf ball with your hands. However, you may find if you hit some shots, concentrate more on the downswing, that the hands actually go back out, back down the line that they came back on, and you'll start to find that the club can unhinge and release itself without you actually having to actively create that stress and that load in your hand. Take that to the driving range, have a little practice. As Chris Comer actually said in his video, he calls that drill a vitamin drill. It's not going to do you any harm. Taking vitamins is never going to do you any harm. Every golfer can do it. It's not specific to any one person, but hitting some shots with your left arm only will certainly teach you how to potentially get the hands travelling back out on the arc that they went back on. Give it a go, leave some comments, and we'll see how you get on. Take care. Until next time, see you soon.